We have a great show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real relevant and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. I am here today with none other than Sharon D. Brown. How are you today, Sharon?
I am doing wonderful here.
I'm so glad. You know what? Sharon is one of our Freestyle Friday experts. So you get a chance to see her frequently here on The Kim Jacobs Show. But I have the distinct honor and privilege today of having her as an exclusive guest. And so this is truly an honor to have you here today. So thank you for gracing us with your presence, because you have way more to share than 5 to 7 minutes worth of tips on a freestyle episode. So thank you for coming today.
It's definitely an honor of being here.
I was thinking, Sharon, whenever I am in your presence, I learn so much more about what I can do to just whoosh, relax, take it all in. I watch your videos and I glean from your brilliance is what I really do. And I thank God for who he's created you to be. I want to make sure I go live on multiple platforms so no one's missing anything. So everybody that's tuning in, let us know that you're here, and please make sure that you also share it. Go ahead and tag friends and invite them to be a part of our discussion. They're going to walk away better because they tuned into today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. And that's the whole goal of our show, is to bring balance to the world. And we do it by coming into your household, bringing balance to the world, one household, just one household at a time. And so Sharon is here to do that with us today. Sharon D. Brown, LCSW. She is a self-care strategist, a licensed mental health professional, and the visionary founder of Self-Care U Academy. She has over 2 decades in the mental health field, and she specializes in helping individuals, especially leaders, y'all, entrepreneurs, leaders, all of us that are trying to sustain ourselves to be successful. She helps us by helping us safeguard our well-being. I know in her bio it says there, but I include me in this too. She helps us safeguard our well-being. Her journey began with some personal things that happened, and I'm sure she'll talk about that, but realizing that self-care is not just a luxury, but it's a vital foundation for leadership and legacy. So I'm not going to read through her whole bio because I want you to hear from Sharon D. Brown, our self-carepreneur expert, Freestyle Friday expert, and the self-care strategist, founder of Fortitude and Free Circle in school community as well. Welcome, Sharon D. Brown. You didn't know I was going to introduce you like that, did you?
Not at all. Not at all. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you for being here today. And we're going to just jump right into our conversation, because I really want people to know that you've been inspired to do quite a few things. You merge wealth, health, and entrepreneurship all together. So you really carry people on a journey that's all inclusive, which I love. But I wanted to talk today some about a new thing that I found out about recently from you, which is Empower Your Evolution. What inspired you to create the Empower Your Evolution concept?
Oh, wow. This was a few weeks ago, and then I had a recent revelation about it. But as I often do, I'm a thinker, I'm a visionary, and I was thinking about pretty much when individuals are in transition, what are the things that are needed, and sometimes what are the things that kind of get left behind in our struggle.
Yes.
because when we're in transition or experiencing something, whether it is a divorce, a separation, or a breakup, or even a loss, could be a loss of a job. It could be, a loss of, someone having a death, in the family. And especially for leaders, especially for entrepreneurs, because it's like life still goes on, and I pretty much remember like during my breakup, which pretty much kind of propelled the self-care. But
Okay.
even at that particular time,
Mm.
in that my parents had their, medical issues. I mean, their medical issues have been up and down, but it's like,
Okay.
how do you navigate all of that and still show up for
Mm.
what ought to be,
That's right.
you
That's
know?
right.
And with that, that usually does come up is that, are we really honest?
Mm-hmm.
Honest with ourselves, of who we are at the moment and
Mm-hmm.
where we are, and then what do we need,
Mm. Mm.
And so when it comes to empower the evolution, it's more so of walking through the mud, walking through
Right.
the jungle, walking through the wilderness, while at the same time, for those of us who have a calling or a movement, to still move towards that without
Mm.
losing ourselves,
That's right.
because of the fact during those transition, during those times, our identity is shaken.
That's right.
Just in having a calling, it's an identity change anyway, and to
That's
forever.
right.
So for the most part, that is where the birth of that really came from. It just came from more so of just wanted to, really have others when they're in transition.
Mhm.
And it doesn't even have to be transition. It could just be personal growth,
Right.
to expand yourself, to
Mm.
make sure that you are still evolving, because we can't do this work without evolving,
Never. Mm.
to get better, to be better through all of this.
Mm.
And so that's pretty much the gist of the birth of that, is to say, hey, um, to empower your evolution. And then the thing is, when I was to show you how everything really come together, when you look at the abbreviations of it,
Yes.
I.
That's why I put that. I put that. I was like, oh, that's beautiful. So
Yeah.
looking at things, what does that mean to you? Because when I thought of it, when I was reading more about the Empower Your Evolution, and I thought about the I,
Mhm.
is like, how do we see ourselves? Is what I was thinking. Because
Mhm.
I'm the balance doctor over here, so I'm making my own theories too.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking it was like, how do I see myself? How do other people see me? But even going inwardly and turning my sight to myself to say, what can I do to be a better version of me?
Mhm.
Not even just what other people are seeing or saying about me, but what can I do that I know would be better for me?
Exactly. And that's pretty much what it is. It's like how you're seeing yourself. What is your self concept? And then depends on pretty much different practices that people have. We know it's
Mhm.
your inner eye, you
Hmm.
know? And so
Interesting.
again, it's that eye within you where you can see yourself, and not the physical eye of yourself.
Oh,
So
that's
that's
good.
partially of what that is too.
Oh, look at me. I'm well matriculated here through the Sharon D. Brown program. This is excellent. And I know that you've had your own background pertaining to mental health and helping people for decades. I mean, this is like for over 2 decades you've been doing this already. So
Mhm.
this is not a new study or field for you. So I'm wondering what shifts now the way that you're seeing women as they are going through different transitions now versus in the past 2 decades that you
Mhm.
were dealing with this. How are you seeing women differently now?
Yeah, pretty much what I'm seeing now, I want to say it's kind of like twofold. I always say I see the whole picture, so I see everything. So there are those individuals that still continue to struggle, that still pretty much believe in, I got to push, I got to go through. I'm the one who's responsible for taking care of everything and leaving themselves behind and not creating that space for them. And then you do have some who's beginning to see, their eyes are beginning to open.
Yes. Yes.
And they're like, you know what? I can't do this way anymore. And so I do want some help or support, or I'm looking for different ways of how I can create that space for myself and then move at a different pace as well. So there, because it's almost like night and day. There's a group of women, it's like, hey, I got radical self-care over here, and others like, oh no, I can't do it because I have all of this over here.
But you feel like, and because I know some of your philosophies because I've been around you so long, but I want everyone that's tuning in today to know that you don't really feel that self-care is a luxury. Talk to us about that. What do you feel as far as your philosophy pertaining to self-care?
Yeah, it's definitely not a luxury at all. If anything, of course, anything that's considered a luxury, that's the outcome of self-care. But generally, self-care is really something, I would say, ritual practices and routine that help you to get to the next moment so that you can be you. Because a lot of times we be in the doing and not in the being. So
somebody type this, y'all. I mean, this some good stuff for notes for later. So not in the doing. I'm typing it in the doing, but in the being, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So part of it is the effort and the practices, is that space. But it's what happens in between that space. And a lot of times people may think that, okay, let me just meditate, let me do these different things. It's not that in and of itself. Those are the things to help you get to the next moment, to the next chapter. But let's just say, for instance, especially if you're dealing with something with other people, which most of the time that we are, and let's say that you may need to address something with someone, but you know that you have to. But even before you have the conversations, there's certain things that you have to do with yourself. Now, for some people, they may not say, hey, I just got to say something, da-da-da-da. But for the most people, it's not like that, because sometimes we may overthink it, but sometimes it does feel, a little something inside. It's like, oh, this is just so uncomfortable. But self-care is the thing you got to do for yourself to have the courage, to have the mindset, to have the conversation.
Okay, let's take that just a little bit further, because I'm loving what I'm hearing. You're saying it's not, I don't want to summarize what I think I'm hearing you saying so that I know I'm saying what you're saying. Are you saying that even if it's uncomfortable, then force yourself to go through that discomfort to get to the self-care that you need to get the outcome that you need in your own life?
Yeah. And what I want to add to navigating through the discomfort is the self-care. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I fully get it, because that's the only way you can finally take a deep breath and say, finally, I got that situation resolved, even if the outcome wasn't what I was necessarily wanting it to be. And this is, we are lockstep, girl, because I wrote a book that's been written about 2 years at this point, right? It's so bad for me to be saying that. The book, the whole manuscript is written. I've handwritten a lot of it, but I just got to get it out to you all, to the public. And it's so much stuff that's very similar to what you're saying. If we don't ever deal with the uncomfortable things in life, then that's part of why we're so constantly stressed out. We're stressed out around certain people. We're stressed out dealing with certain circumstances and situations because we don't want to just address it head on. This is not working. This is wrong. This is not going anywhere. We need to nip this in the bud, cut it off at the root, something, right?
Exactly.
Okay, I guess I could be going completely on. You're probably like, I don't know if this is a good thing to have a guest that you feel like we're
Oh,
so on the same page.
oh no, yeah, yeah, this all good because a lot of times, to your point, that's what make people stop. And what you don't realize, especially for those of us who are callers, for those of us who are purpose driven, sometimes people think because they have a calling or because they're purpose driven that that's it. It's like, oh, well, I'm doing. No, it's the work that we have to do within ourselves. Again, the I within ourselves, so that you can do the calling. Because even like on the business side of it, because you can be of service, you can be a servant, but still we're part of a system.
That's
You
right.
know, we're part of a system. And so with that, that means of, let's say again, having an uncomfortable conversation, it could be, okay, I'm collaborating with someone, but there are some things I need to address because these, things are not being met. So how do you do that? Sometimes in business, it can be easier, but not, you know?
Right.
But then the other part of it in business, when it comes to you offering your service or selling your product, it's like
Yes.
getting out there in the world. And so part of self-care is the things that have to be done so that you can do that,
That's
whatever
good.
it is. So it's not just the calling itself or being purpose driven. It's again, it's the space in between. And a lot of that stops people. But that's what self-care is doing the things that need to be done so you can get to the next moment, so you can be the, when it comes to the best version of yourself. And that
Yeah.
comes with work and
That
effort.
comes with work out over there, all kind of stuff that's going on. Lady Cassandra Williams Davis said she is so proud of you, Sharon.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank
And
you.
that's one of your besties, of
Yeah,
course, and says navigating through the discomfort is self-care. And that's what
exactly.
Lady Cassandra is also saying. Pamela, if you're not familiar with Pamela, she's Coach P to many people, the Powerhouse in Motion. She was actually our speaker at the Walk by Faith Network event you were there. So
Mhm.
this past month. And our speaker in March is going to be Lady Linda Cruz is going to be our speaker. And she's going to do a phenomenal job too. But we learned about how to steward our brilliance and how to package it as Christian business owners. So I know I walked away with so many powerful nuggets. I have a whole booklet of. She gave us a workbook
Mhm.
free. You don't. That's huge. That's a big deal.
It sure is.
So thank you, Pamela, for being. She said that's good. I never thought of courageous conversations this way. Thank
Mhm.
you for sharing.
Yeah. And one thing I want to point out too, because and I'm glad that Pamela said that. And along with having courageous
Mhm.
conversation and doing those things, the reason that it is a form of self-care is because when we don't do it, there's tension in our body, there's
Mhm.
discomfort, it
Yes,
causes just a lot of other things,
that's
if certain things doesn't get addressed or we don't do the things to get us to the next moment. So
that's
it's
it.
almost like there's a cause for us emotionally, sometimes even physically, it can manifest itself. And so that's one way of looking at it. And again, this is another reason
That's
that I
good.
call it self-care. I'm like, almost everything is self-care.
Everything,
If
everything.
it's benefiting you or going to benefit you, it is a form of self-care. And it's not just the luxury. And it's like, oh, I'm at the beach or I'm, drinking for me hot chocolate. But it's more than that. It's the luxury that comes. I mean, those are the luxury, but it's the work that has to be done. And that
Okay.
is the form of self-care.
That's good. This is good. Good. Okay. I'm enjoying this. Very, very nice. So, what do you think happens with women, especially I'm talking about women, but it could be men too, that happens internally when people are going through transitions? Because I know you talk a lot about entrepreneurship, financial wealth, and and then also some of the physical, spiritual, emotional. It's a lot of components dealing with transition. What do
Mhm.
you think is happening with people when they're going through these different types of transitions from a self-care perspective?
Yeah, there's so many different things that could be happening to them. But if anything, just on a natural basis of what can happen is that for any, I don't want to say any, but for a lot of transitions, they can slow you down, and that's normal.
Mm, mm.
But the thing is, when you slow down, and especially if you're in a leadership role or have, responsibilities, then it's that talk inside that ends
Mhm.
up happening
That's
in
right.
that, oh, I'm supposed to show up. I'm supposed to be the one who lead. I'm supposed to be the one who's doing all of that. And then when
Right.
that starts, and then that self-doubt, and then it makes you slow down even more. And
Hmm.
again, that's where that empower your evolution comes in,
That's right.
because if you're not empowering yourself, then it's hard for you to even navigate and get through the wilderness, you
That's
know?
good. That's really, really good. Because I know I feel like I'm a high achieving entrepreneur woman of God, and all of these different things. But I wonder what is it, and I can't really put my finger on it. But maybe this conversation will help me pinpoint it, since I'm having it with Sharon D. Brown. Ask your own questions, everybody in the studio audience. I'm having my one-on-one conversation with her, and everybody just listening in. Unless you type something, then I'll be happy to pull your conversation into. Okay. But what I'm wondering is, why are so many high-powered entrepreneurs, women that are doing great in a lot of different areas of life, struggling with going through different seasons of change? And this is, I tackle some of it in my book, but I just want to hear nail on the coffin.
Oh, wow. It's so good that you asked that question, because it was sometime last week where I had a revelation,
Hmm.
and hopefully this will help. And again, it just came to me. I may have asked oh, I know what it was, and I don't even know why or how the question came to be.
Uh-huh.
It was it's in the Bible, it's a story in the Bible. It's about the widow and the oil. Her husband died, and she has two children, and they were going to have to go into slavery.
Right, right.
And me, with my entrepreneurship mindset now, or continue to expand. So I'm like, but how did she sell the oil? I know about the other parts, but how
Mhm.
did she sell it? We know about the vessels and all of that, but how did she sell it? And then from there, get downloads.
Yeah.
And
Because at the end of the day, she never ran out.
Mhm.
So it was an opportunity for her to just trust God in that situation, and know that even though it looks like you were coming to the end of the road and everything was going to be a bust, because it's like, this is it. This is all we got. We don't want no more. And then
Yeah.
at the end of the day, God always opens up more, hopefully, windows of opportunities, that he pours out additional blessings and things that you just could never have imagined, because you could not use your eye to see it that far, because we only know in part. So some of the things that's happening in our lives, we only know in pieces and in part. But if we knew the whole picture, then we'd be like, oh, I'm stepping boldly with courage, using every piece of my vision, spiritually and physically, because then you already saw it. But that's
Yeah.
that now faith that we talked about too.
Exactly, exactly. And the thing that helped her was when the prophet, of course, asked her, "What do you have in your house?" And like initially, she couldn't think of anything. And then she said, "Oh, well, I got this little bit of
Little teeny.
oil." And that's what happens to us sometimes during transitions. Sometimes you forget what you have in your house, inside of you, your assets.
Mm, mm,
So that's what it is during those transitions, they can, they pretty much, I guess you could say, kind of blind you, put you
mhm,
in a fog, and
mhm.
makes you forget. So again, this is where self-care comes in, to sit back and ask, what do I have in my house?
And
What
there's
can
so
I
much.
see inside of me, because you want to be able to relish in the assets that you already have, which is your gift that you were born with anyway. And as long as you keep that on top, that's going to allow you to see the light and allow you to navigate in the mud and in the wilderness.
You go ahead, girl. Okay, you know what? I'm putting y'all, type your comments. What do you have? I'm trying to type and do all of this. Okay, what do you have in your house? What's inside of you? Type your comments, type your answers, because each and every one of us, we have gifts and talents, and many times we take them for granted. Because I know when I'm sitting silently and I'm talking with the Lord and I have my notebook out, God has given me things and ideas and words of wisdom. And it makes me it literally just wells me up inside, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm literally not using God's name in vain. Oh my God, I never even thought of that. Or he'll give me an idea through my son, Frankie, for example. I'm talking to him and he'll say something that's just real nonchalant. I'm like, what? I needed that. Oh my gosh, that's like such a game changer for my entire life. So God gives us everything that we need, many times right within ourselves or within the people that he has placed in our lives in very close proximity. You know?
That's so true. So true. And so the other part of that, even though she was selling them, selling the oil and everything, but a lot of times we forget about the gifts that we have inside, that they're for us too. Yes. So going back to your question, in that when it comes to high achieving women, is that a lot of times you're being a leader and you're serving others, but you forget to lead and serve yourself.
Yes. Okay, girl. Okay. I have to put some kind of just extra acknowledgement in the book and say, okay, I done talked with Dr. Sharon Brown. I done call you doctor now. Okay. Sharon D. Brown. Okay. I am so thoroughly in alignment with everything that you're saying. And it resonates with my spirit at a whole different level. So thank you so much. But why do you think it's also important for women and for people that are going through, when I say women, it's because I feel like we deal a lot with women, but there are men that are going through a lot of transition as well. But sometimes people aren't as honest as they need to be during that time of transition. Do you feel like it's something that people should be more honest about their transitional phases that they're going through, or how do you recommend people deal with that?
What I would say, if anything, they do need to be transparent and honest with themselves.
Okay, with themselves. So it's not about necessarily telling other people per se.
Exactly.
But okay, Sharon, I should have put some tea in here. What y'all drinking? I'm drinking just a cup of water. Y'all messing around with water. I should have had some hot tea, Earl Grey with a little bit of cream and some Splenda.
Because the reason for that, if you're not really honest with yourself, then it's hard for you to see when blessings come, when help come, and even, for decisions that you may need to make, and you're just not going to be able to. The other thing is that, because this was another part of the revelation that I had regarding all of this, is that in that, if you're not able to see your assets, see your gifts, and you're not really honest with yourself, and remember I said that we slow down in, transition, and that's okay. It's normal. It's okay. It's just a part of it sometimes. But if we slow down too much, and especially if we stop, then we can end up being in bondage. And a lot of times the transition itself, especially, if it's a heartbreak or a loss, its full intent may not be for, just a negative for you to be in emotional debt, psychological debt, spiritual debt. Because if we're in bondage, if something is enslaving us, that's what ends up happening. But that very thing, just like for me with the heartbreak, it propelled me to self-care, because I walked into a yoga class and ended up taking yoga teacher training. And then, I'm looking at mental health differently and wanting to learn so many different things. So it propelled me.
Mm.
So sometimes that very thing that is in transition, you
Yes.
know, in that it's not there to hold you back, maybe to slow down a little bit so you can, catch up, catch your breath, and,
Right.
do the other luxury things when it comes to self-care. But the main thing is to be able to be honest with yourself so you can see, because we can't even see if we're not honest with ourselves because it will block.
Well, that's why, and I know I hate to turn. Well, I don't want to say I hate, because I actually
No, go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
think
It's
everything
good.
should be turned into a biblical example, because that's what I believe in, the Word of God, right? So what I was thinking is that sometimes we are often worried about trying to help everybody else, but our own heart is deceitfully wicked. And the Word of God talks about, you don't even know your own heart. I don't know my own heart. So yes, I can tell you what I'm reading and what I'm practicing, because this is what I believe. But at the end of the day, there are some things that I'm telling you that I also need to still work on for myself.
Mhm.
So that inward looking perspective is so important, that we remember that while we're pointing at somebody else, everything's pointing back. In some
Mhm.
regard, there are fingers pointing back at us, no matter which finger you point. Well, I don't want to point the middle one. Never mind. Okay, y'all. Oh my gosh. Pray my strength in the Lord. I was about to point the middle finger at you all. A finger is a finger, in my opinion, but I don't want to point the middle one. Keep going. Go, Sharon. Say something, because now I don't. Okay, let me.
That's so funny.
We are back to Sharon D. Brown.
Oh, that is so funny.
I did not mean to do that. I was going to use an illustration.
Hey, you were excited.
See, you don't know your own heart. Out of the mouth comes the issues of the heart, right?
Mhm.
Right.
And again, that's the thing too, to really think about when it comes to evolving. It's like, yes, we're getting to the next season or the next chapter or the next step, and certain experiences help us get there, because sometimes without them, we would just still kind of just be, it'd be a different definition of be, but we really needed, those things. So yeah, it's like go within so that really whatever debt that you may have from a transition, you can eradicate that. That's really the main thing, because if you don't go within and be honest, then again, you're not going to be able to see.
Just wasting time, wasting life. And that's, in my opinion, is unfortunate, because this is truly a gift. As far as I'm concerned, life is a
Yeah.
gift. And I think what you're saying today is going to really help people be more introspective and understanding what's going on inside. So I know with anxiety, a lot of times when people are going through transitions in life, like you said, it can be death, it can be a job, it can be financial, relational, whatever the case may be. A lot of anxiety sets in. Are there any words of wisdom or advice you would give people on how to deal with that?
Yeah, pretty much when it comes to anxiety in and of itself, most of the time, but not always, you're able to identify, like what could be contributing to it. And, you do those things in order to address whatever is contributing to it in and of itself. But the other thing is, when it comes to you as a person, know that when it comes to anxiety, I guess you could say it does stem from, your nervous system.
Right.
And so it's really important to be able to nurture your nervous system, recondition your nervous system, and train your nervous system. We hear a lot about regulating your nervous system,
Right.
but I kind of think that some people think regulating your nervous system, something is wrong with them. No, it's not. It's the body is doing what the body does, but it's so important for us to be in tune with ourselves. And so when it comes to nurturing and reconditioning or training the nervous system, my number one thing that I tell pretty much almost everyone, let's take that breath. Take that deep breath. Now, is that breath going to make, whatever is going on in your life to, eradicate or erase or just be gone. No, but what it will do, it will put you in a different state where you can see. Because otherwise, if you're in fight, flight, freeze, then you're not able to see, and it impacts how you make decisions. It impacts what you see and hear. Because have you ever been like emotional or a little upset, and
Right.
sure what you saw was true or what you heard was true, but then after a while you calm down, could be another day, you're like, ooh, I'm sure glad I ain't saying that.
Right. You know what? I'm so glad you said that, Sharon, because that, okay, this is like, I feel like I'm in the where to have the priest and then confession. And you're like, now I know when I first read that, I thought it said this, but really when I went back to reread it later, I was like, did I read what I wanted it to mean because it was the person that was saying it, and it wasn't even what they were saying? You've had that happen, right? Girl, I'm like, and then when stuff like that happen, it's like, okay, heart beating. I'm like, wait. I'm about to ruin a whole situation, overreact, and cause mad chaos when I totally misunderstood something or misread it. Or just I don't know whether like I read it wrong, put an extra word in there, word out. That's so I'm not on an island by myself. That's happened to you. Okay. Thank God to hear that, because that is. Let's go to some of the studio audience comments. Also, everybody, let me let you know too, if you want to partner with the Kim Jacobs Show, which we really do need partners to be a part of us keeping our broadcast coming into your home Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. The only way we can do this is through all of the support of the community members. So scrolling at the bottom of the screen are ways to partner with the Kim Jacobs Show. And some of you are on audio platforms, iHeartRadio, WDRB Media, all kinds of different audio platforms. So it's through PayPal, paypal.me/Kim Jacobs Inc. Or you can send Venmo. Venmo is at the Kim Jacobs Show. If you want, you can Zelle or Apple Cash, and you can use the number 704-962-7161. But please let us know that you did become a partner. You can also be a part of our Patreon membership, and that's patreon.com/The Kim Jacobs Show. And we put content there that we don't put in the general public. So we welcome you to partner with us, and we thank you for those that already do. So Sharon, I want to go to some of the studio audience comments. People are really chiming in heavily today, and see if you had any comments to respond. Let's see. Keep all your questions, comments coming in, and we'll keep going back throughout the broadcast. So we said, Pamela said, that's good. Never thought of the courageous conversations. That's a great way to word it. Courageous conversations. Okay. And she said, thanks for sharing. And then Lady Cassandra said, navigating through the discomfort is self-care. And she's very proud of you. Very proud of you. She also said, focus on what is between starting and reaching your goals. You want to speak to that for a minute? That'd be great.
Oh, yeah. Definitely focus on what is between starting and reaching your goal, because that's where the work is. That's where we need the self-care. Again, self-care is getting you to the next moment. Because sometimes it's kind of like people are looking at the stars, but then they may not always look at the path of how to get there. And so what are the things that you need to do? What are the support that you need?
Right.
The structure. Because that's the other thing too, is like, even when it comes to transition, in that we need structure, we need systems, and we need those things in order to, get through it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank y'all so much for being so interactive with us. I feel like you're in a live studio audience and you're coming up to the mic and you're asking your questions. So, hey, make sure you take a moment, come up to the mic, ask your question while we have our expert here who's giving us some free gifted advice. Okay. BJ Christmas is on, and she said, greetings, and she has her red glasses on over there. I see you, BJ. I see you, girl. All right. Greetings to you. Pamela said, that will preach, Sharon. What you were back there talking about a few minutes ago, that will preach, girl. You about to preach. And Cassandra said, amen. And BJ said, now that's some good stuff right there, Sharon. That is good. Sometimes we forget to serve ourselves. Talk a little bit more about serving ourselves.
Yes, serving ourselves is so important. Even though we're hardwired for connections. But one thing that I will say is that I truly believe that one of the reasons that we are hardwired for connections so that we can connect with ourselves.
Yes.
And like for some individuals, may have, had some trauma in their lives or may not have had both parents or one parent, and there's a void.
That's right.
But if anything, we think that we would be, some people think they'll be happy with someone else. Again, being hardwired for connections is important because it can allow us to see ourselves, to see our deficit, to see where we're good at. But if anything, even though it may be nice to hear, I love you from someone else, or to get kudos and all of those positive affirmations from other people, but your soul needs it from you.
From us, from our own selves. That's
exactly.
There's so many people I want to tune in to be a part of this.
Exactly.
They'll watch it at some point.
And so when we're serving others, serving ourselves with the good word, with affirmations, with the things like the very thing that you may want someone else to say or do for yourself. Do for you, do for yourself. Because again, when you're nurturing your soul, you're nurturing your nervous system as well. And so that is why that is so important. It's like your soul needs to hear from you, not just what you read and what you watch, but the words that come out of your mouth. So tell yourself those things. And that's how we fill the voids in our lives, especially for people who, have had absent parents or something. In that, I'm like, even if you don't, quote unquote, feel like you have any issues or whatsoever, your soul, it knows something is missing. So go ahead and, tell the little girl or little boy something that you may have wished that have been said to you.
Yes. Well, then, even though we're talking about things we should say that we wish would have been said, and we say it to ourselves, there are some experiences, and I can only, again, speak personally. There are some experiences that I've had along my lifetime, and one was going to the movies. I love going to the movies, right? So go to the movies, I eat my popcorn. I want to see it at the theater. I love Netflix and all the other stuff, Netflix and chill and all that drama, but I would like it to be in the theater, right? But growing up, I always was at the movies with other people. So it wasn't until in my 50s that I started going to the movies by myself. And that's something that exactly what you're saying. I had to make a conscious decision. Do you mean to tell me, Kim? This is me talking to myself. let me get my little mic back over here, my podcast mic. Girl, are you meaning to tell me that you're going to wait until either a man, a family member, a buddy can go to the movie theater with you in order for you to go and watch the movie? I had about 2 or 3 movies leave the theater waiting for people, Sharon D. Brown. I said, the devil is a liar. If I want to go to that movie and see that movie myself, I'm going. Guess what I did? I did just that. But here's the only drawback, Sharon. While I was there, I jumped on, I don't even like scary movies, but it was one jumpy part. I don't remember what, but I just jumped on the person next to me, and I didn't know the person. I didn't want I'm so used to, you're so used to what you're so used to. I literally touched a stranger. That's how used to me having somebody be next to me in the theater that belongs to my crew or my circle, that I was used to that. What are your thoughts on that?
What I would say about that is that with our being, it's always, trained. And so if you've experienced something for 10, 15, 20 years, it comes to recognize that and look for that. So what had happened was it was a natural reaction. So that is that part of like reconditioning and training. Don't do that.
And then, stuff can really pop off because it was somebody else. It was like a whole couple, and the man
Yeah.
was sitting next to me, and I jumped off. I was like, I am so sorry. I had to apologize to the man, the lady, because then it could look like a whole situation. Like, she touching you? Anyway, girl, pray for me. Let's keep going. Okay, Dr. Lotus Richer, if you've not been over, have you been on the Lotus Richer Ignites You show?
Not yet.
Girl, today. I don't know about you being on the show today, but today you two get connected, and Dr. Lotus Richer is going to give you a whole global experience. You're like, I don't need to go to Kim Jacobs show no more because I'm over here with Dr. Lotus. Don't get brand new. That was your time to say that I will always come back. See, Sharon, you gonna leave.
No, I'm just, I would be back.
You're like, bye, Kim. I'm over here with the Lotus Richer Ignites You show. And when you get over there, it's a whole global experience, baby.
Yeah, it's so funny.
So I'll make sure you all get connected. Glad to have you with us, Dr. Lotus Richer. She actually has a summit coming up that's going to be happening in the first weekend in June. So you all follow her and learn more about it. It's going to be an empowerment summit that's going to be life-changing. So she said, hello, Miss Sharon. We must serve ourselves to be great at what God has for us.
Exactly.
Wow, y'all had a lot of great comments over there. Let me learn about these 3 S's because I see that when I'm reading stuff and learning and following you. So talk to us about the 3 S's.
So with the 3 S's, I want to say they're different ones, but one of the first one is sacred. One is sacred social spaces.
Sacred social spaces. Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then there is sacred solo spaces. And pretty much with that one is, let's start with the first one. With the first one,
sacred spaces.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the other one?
Where solo. Sacred social spaces, and then sacred solo space.
Okay. Sacred solo spaces. And you don't have to tell them all because then they need to be following you. Don't worry about telling all of them. Okay. Mm-hmm. I just want people to get a little flavor. Mm-hmm. So let's say sacred social spaces and sacred solo spaces. Mm-hmm. And talk to us about those 2.
Yeah, pretty much with those 2, with the social spaces, those are the ones, which, when it comes to others, and it's not just about like hanging out, it's not just about hanging out. It's more.
You just blew my opportunity to have some people come with me to the movies, Sharon. It's not just about hanging out.
But that could be a hangout. But when it comes to, again, sacred, this is sometimes can be a space that you may need, especially in the time of need, especially when you are in transition. It can just be where you may not even need to talk, because sometimes some people think like, if you just need to talk to somebody, but a lot of times people don't. Most of the time, people just need that space. There is something about being in proximity with someone. There's something magical about that. Mm-hmm. But you don't want them talking and you don't want to talk.
I'm serious. We could do this, Sharon. Like I could just come and sit with you and literally just be like, my mom is like, what are you doing? Sometimes I'll just be sitting. I'm not doing anything. That's what I say, Mom, just being. Yeah. I don't have anything I need to do right now. Exactly. I don't want to do anything. I just want to be. I just want to exist quietly. Yeah. I run this mouth all day. When I'm home, I want to get home, relax, get in my jammies, and I would say cuddle, but I cuddle with myself and my fellow and my family. But go ahead, keep going.
Yeah. And so, when it comes to that, it's pretty much just giving people space. Now, the other part that I want to say, because a lot of times people will say, oh, I'll be there for you. Just let me know. But most part, what I have seen, even though people want to be there for others, but a lot of times they don't even have the emotional capacity to be able to support others. So if you are going to offer someone, some sacred social space, make sure you fill your own cup first before you be in service to others.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes to the, solo sacred space, that's more so where you're spending your time alone and you're filling your own cup. Because sometimes you may not want, that space with others, and it's just for you, and that's okay.
That's right. I love it. I love it. Okay. Let me, I'm typing one thing. I see you, Dr. Tina. I see you, BJ. I see you, Dennis. I see all of you. I'm trying to maneuver everything over here, but I'm gonna put your comments up. Let me do this right quick. I thought about, this is just something silly that just happened. And right while you were talking, I took a little break to just drink some water. But then I was like, oh, I was like, it's good. And I realized, I don't think you're supposed to be chewing that. That's definitely against the talk show. For the host to be chewing on something like this. I realized, I said, that ice cube tastes good. So I thought I'd tell y'all, only when you tune into a woman's talk show that is experiencing menopause will you see the host chewing ice. And that's appropriate etiquette. Whether CNN or any other channel tell you differently, that's etiquette. If you watching the Kim Jacobs show, because I'll get hot over here sometimes. I have to have a cup of ice water. Anyway, back to business here. Let's see. Dr. Tina J. Ramsay is on, and she said, hello, everyone. She is the founder of CTR Media Network. Speaking of CTR Media Network, I just want to thank everybody because we had the opportunity to have over 23,000 views on Roku, Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV, thanks to Dr. Tina J. Ramsay and Dr. Curtis Ramsay and the whole CTR Media family. We have 23,000 views that were on that Roku channel. So all you have to do is download the CTR Media Network app and the Kim Jacobs Show. You can watch it on your TV, y'all, right on your television under the self-improvement channel. So thank you all for all of the viewers that made that possible for our show to reach 23,000 views this past month. We were ranked number 4 out of all of the different podcasts. So thank you. And thank you, Dr. Tina, for being here. That's another person. If you haven't connected with Dr. Tina? You have not been connected with Dr. Tina either?
Oh yeah. We've connected before.
Okay. I was gonna say, what is the world coming to? You haven't talked to Dr. Tina J. Ramsay? Okay. BJ Christmas, I see you. Cassandra saying congratulations. Cassandra's, you know what? I really want to take a moment to just say, and I think she's this way for both of us. We could be with her. I can imagine the 3 of us just going somewhere and sitting.
Ooh, wow. Yeah.
Saying absolutely nothing. But we know it's so much to say, but we don't have to say a thing.
This is true.
And Cassandra is that friend for me too. I'm like, girl, I could just be on the phone and we don't have to say a word. and the person wouldn't be like, hello. No, I know you there. I know you there, but we ain't saying nothing right now because we talk plenty. All right, I see you, BJ. I see you. Okay, so Sharon, I want to make sure as we're going through this that there's anything that you want to cover that helps with self-care, space making, not escaping, things that you can just share with us that would be from your heart to make sure you accomplish what you really want to get across as the message today.
Yeah. You were asking me about the triple S's, and one more of the triple S is structure, support, and system.
Okay. And I knew what it was, but I didn't know if you wanted to say it. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. And the only thing I really just want to say is that a lot of times, especially when we're in transitions, if anything, we do need structure, support, and systems. But most people look at those things, externally. But You know me, I always like to come back to self, but there are internal structure, internal support, and internal systems that we need to
Yeah.
help get us through. And you can find out more about that with, Empower Your Evolution. I'll be having a webinar on that on Friday at 11:15
Okay.
a.m.
Well, y'all can go and watch that on 11:15 on Friday. So
Yeah.
I'll have a repeat. So it's not on Friday. It's going to be a repeat episode on the Kim Jacobs Show. So I can tell
Mhm.
you that's this Friday only. But Friday, what's the date and the time and so people can be a part of it? And where do they go to register for it?
Yeah, pretty much. With that, it is going to be on YouTube, and I will give you the information to register
Okay.
for that. And like I said, because it's like an open door,
Oh,
when it
good.
comes to that.
Well,
And because I definitely want people to be able to be introduced to it,
excellent.
because the other part of it too is it's the gateway inside the VIP. And more information, will be given into that, because of anything that I've seen, especially when it comes to entrepreneur and female entrepreneurs, and for those of us who are 40 plus, and again, whether you are coming off the cuff of a
Right.
transition or you just want personal growth, a lot of times in the beginning it's hard.
Mhm.
And you really want to slow down. I'm not saying not to slow down, but what I am saying too is that depends on where you are, and especially if you have the responsibility of having a calling, of
Mhm.
having a movement, because
Yeah.
there are things that have to be done.
Mhm.
And we want you to make sure you continue to be connected to you. And so with the VIP program, it'll help you do that, because those first 30 days,
Mhm.
you was like, I can't go. It's like, wait a minute, we're going to sit here and breathe. We're going to sit here and do some information, but you
Figure it
still
out.
got to do, the other stuff that comes along with business. And that's the gist of it, is making sure that self-care, making sure you're taking care of yourself is integrated. Because if not, when we don't make it a priority and integrate it and part of our calling of taking
Mhm.
care of ourselves, wellness, and then the work that you do becomes unfolded, because that's where it's wear and tear on your body. And
Okay.
then we're
That's
talking
good.
about all of those other things that can happen, heart attack, stroke, and all of that. It's like, no, we're not going to have that to happen.
No, not if we get to empower our evolution, right? Empower your
Exactly.
evolution. What's one bold step people can take today if they, I know this is happening Friday, but some people need this release right now.
Mhm.
What's one bold thing they can do to empower our evolutions?
I would say the one bold thing that they can do is really to be able to sit and take and really look at their assets, because your assets are going to be the thing that's going to get you through.
Mm,
And whatever you identify, I would say name 3 assets,
mm,
and then choose one of them, and allow that to be like whatever that asset is. Give it to yourself, feed it to yourself, say it, renew yourself, read it, meditate on it day and night with whatever it is, because again, the very thing that we're giving to others, we can give to ourselves. So
that's good.
yeah, knowing pretty much your strength, that's what your assets are. There's your strength, but there's the thing that's naturally come to you, but it's the thing that has always been in you, that
Inside
you
of
were
us.
born with, but we need for you to give it to yourself.
That's so good. And I know you're always helping everyone else. Is there anything that you're going through yourself that you want us to keep you in prayer about, or anything that you just want us to say a word of encouragement to you? Because it's a lot of times you're the person that's pouring into everyone else. Anything?
I would just say, pray for my business. You know what I'm saying? It's like the more people that, learn about Steph Curry U Academy and become a part of the circle. And we know that, people can, definitely use the help. And sometimes when people think of Steph Curry, like, oh, I don't need that and I'm good.
Mm,
Mm-mm. It's
yes,
not about being good, Because what we end up kind of getting wrong sometimes is the
Mhm.
continuation
Uh-huh. That's good.
of continuing to pour into ourselves, continue to nurture ourselves,
That's good.
continue to recondition of what, we don't even remember up here. But when it does come to surface, to recondition those things that can kind of give us off track and to train, it's a continuation. So to pretty much just say, hey, I'm prioritizing self-care so that I can be well in my life, I can show up with clarity, and I can serve others and be well and and do good and all of that. And because why? We have the I.
We have the EYE, empower your evolution. That's a cheer. Empower your evolution. I'm forever throwing something to a cheer. Pay me no about. I did that on church service, and people were like, "What in the world?" I was doing the snake, and they're like, "Oh no." Okay, listen. I'm so glad that you've been here with us today, and I want to just take a moment to encourage you all that if you are, I'm going to share with you how you can stay connected with Sharon D. Brown. So make sure you tell them right now how they can stay connected with you on your IG or wherever you want them to be.
Yeah, they can connect with me on IG. I am Sharon D. Brown, but I'm also on TikTok as well. And I would say I'm probably more lively over there.
I
And that,
see you over there. Okay, so and on TikTok, what's your name over there?
yeah, that one is Sassy Sharon.
I was gonna say I think it's a different name. Okay, yeah,
Mhm.
as Sassy. I'm gonna type that Sassy Sharon. She do be turning up on TikTok, y'all. So y'all don't get to see this other version. You get to see the TikTok version. So y'all go over to TikTok at Sassy Sharon and on Instagram at I am Sharon D. Brown. She also has a school community, and I'll put that up as well. And also has a program starting on this Friday coming up where you can go to her Facebook page I'm not Facebook, on YouTube, right?
Say that again. Yes.
What page is it on YouTube?
It's on Sharon D. Brown, Self Carepreneur.
On Sharon D. Brown. I'm going to type that. D. Brown, Self Care
Mm-hmm.
Preneur. And that's going to be the on YouTube.
Yes.
I want y'all to make sure you know that because that's where you need to go on Friday in order for you to learn more about the Empower Your Evolution program. So if you know that you're going to be going and tuning in on Friday at 11:15 for her new kickoff of the I program, Empower Your Evolution, then make sure you go to the Sharon D. Brown Self Carepreneur on YouTube at 11:15 on Friday, and that's where she will be. Following her also on Instagram, you're going to learn more about it, and on TikTok at Sassy Sharon, and on Instagram, I am Sharon D. Brown. I have audio listeners, so I need to make sure y'all know. I also want to say a very special happy 81st birthday to Dr. Les Brown. We love you, Dr. Les Brown. We celebrate you. He's been a mentor of mine since my early 20s, and I'm now in my 50s. And I'm telling you, this man has devoted his entire life. And I put that in my Facebook post. His entire life, he made a conscious choice. That's a big deal for somebody to choose that my life's mission is going to be to help you see the greatness that's inside of you. And I'm going to help you pull that greatness out. I'm going to help you know that your story is necessary. I'm going to make sure that you know how important it is to be hungry for the things that you say you want in life. This man is a living motivational legend, and I celebrate you today, Dr. Les Brown. Happy birthday. Happy 81st birthday, with no signs of slowing down anytime soon. No signs. So happy birthday. And I do believe that that deserves a wonderful, great big round of applause. We celebrate you. And then also, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge, and we all know that this is today, if you're tuning in and watching this as a replay, this day, February, what's today's day? Is it the 17th or the 18th? It's the 18th now. No, 17th. Today is the 17th because it's Les Brown's birthday, right? Okay. So on this day, February 17th, 2026, also someone that we all admire and have learned and gleaned from. One of the things that stood out to me about Reverend Jesse Jackson, yes, he's a civil rights advocate and activist, and we all love him. We all love him, and we mourn the passing of Reverend Jesse Jackson, who truly is a giant in the civil rights movement. Never stopped demanding that America do the right thing, that we do the right thing by each other. He marched, he ran, he did everything. I was reading this in Eyewitness News, ABC 7 is where I'm reading this one piece. It says he marched, he ran, he organized, and he preached justice without apology. May we honor him not just in words, but in the struggle that he experienced throughout all of his life. He reminded us that leadership is about lifting others, that faith must move us to action, and that no community is too small to matter. So no matter where we are in the world, we will continue to stand on giants, the shoulders of giants like Reverend Jesse Jackson. And I wanted us to just acknowledge his passing today. And it's Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. We honor you. We salute you. We celebrate you, Reverend Jesse Jackson. One of the things he said that stands out to me was no barrier, no wall of resistance can stop the onslaught of persistent hope. But through it all, keep hope alive.
Mm-hmm.
That has stuck with me for many years. So we ask God to comfort and give his family peace during this time. And our world, the entire world, we're all going to miss Reverend Jesse Jackson. Okay, tomorrow I have another guest coming on that's going to talk to you about being a waiter, going from waiter to greater. And it is going to be a wonderful episode. And then on Thursday, we have From Servant to Kingdom Daughter, Sister Vanessa's testimony. She's going to be talking about how she was developed through the darkness and how God brought her out. So we are in for some great episodes lined up. And then on Friday, everybody go over to Sharon D. Brown's YouTube channel. She's normally on my platform on Friday, but let's all take us over to her platform and support what she is going to be doing on Friday. So make sure, Sharon, if you have a flyer or anything, get it to me. I'll make sure I share that with people as well. And it was one more thing I had to do from an administrative perspective, but I can't think, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to put this up so you see this image, but I do want you to, let me just put this. I'm going to do this because I think it'll be easier if I do this. Letitia Lamar is going to be doing a free master class because there's a lot of people we deal with are talking about legacy and different things. But this woman is the author of Be Great. And this book that she has written, she's going to be talking on Thursday at 7:00 p.m., a free master class where I'm trying to find her information, but it's a free master class that will give you the opportunity to register for her Legacy Now. The book, I have the book. I keep all of y'all's books and stuff with me. But anyway, her book is called Be Great. And you see, I have it earmarked. I take it seriously when I'm supporting y'all's books and things. But Be Great, and it's a personal development legacy summit. She's doing a free masterclass on Thursday, the 19th, February 19th at 7:00 p.m. Make sure that you reach out to her, 352-462-2804 for more information. She will get you some pre-work. She's very, very organized and will make sure that you are prepared for the masterclass that's happening on this Thursday. Let her know that Kim Jacobs Show referred you over to her so that you can be ready. You're going to learn how to be equipped and aligned with how to prepare yourself to build legacy now for you and your family. You don't want to miss that. It's a free class, a free master class that you don't want to miss. All right. Closing comment, Sharon D. Brown.
Yeah, the main thing I will leave you with is empower your evolution with your assets.
Empower your evolution with your assets. Your assets. Are you going to come back again, Sharon? Because there's so much. I had like about 30 more questions for you.
Of course, of course.
Seriously, we got to book some more because I'm excited about this Empower Your Evolution. And I think it's going to evolve even more. And we're going to be able to talk more about breaking it down into these bite-sized pieces for people that tune in. Because a lot of people tuned in today, and I appreciate you all being here. That's the only way the show can thrive. So thank you. Self-care, space making. I got so many. I had like a whole bunch of categories I want to talk about. So we're going to come back together, either on your Freestyle Friday moments or come book again and let's do a part 2 of this. Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
I love you, Sharon.
I love you too.
And love you all. Thank you all for being in the virtual studio audience today and for always making the Kim Jacobs Show what it is. I can't thank you enough. I love you all and appreciate. Love you, Cassandra. You know, people be on the shows, be like, I love you, all of these different family members. I love you, Dr. Lotus. Love you, Dr. Tina. Love y'all. Love you, BJ. Love you, Dennis. Oh, okay. I see all y'all. Love y'all. Love you. Have a great day. And thank you for tuning into this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. I love you. I'll see you again tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sharon, be blessed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stay backstage. Okay. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference. And I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you and make it a great day.